Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show. Apologies that we are a bit late. That's on my end. Trying to sort a lot of stuff out regarding content and that type of thing. And Dave has kindly done his preview going into it from Talking Wolves. Obviously, I will release that as soon as possible after this, and obviously on the community post as well. I will have my Premier League predictions out there as well. So yeah, do check all of that out. And yeah, obviously I posted a few shorts over the last couple of days as well, so do check them out. But yeah, obviously in this one, like I say, Wolves preview, and like always, I'm joined with Dad. How are we, Dad?
All good, mate. Thanks. Hope you're well.
Yep, I'm all good. I'm all good. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So Wolves, like I say, taking them on. Bit of insight going into it, like we always do. Wolves are unbeaten in their last 8 against us in the league, of course, winning 4, drawing 4. This is the first time they've hosted them in a league match since a 1-0 win in August 2006, and the first time in the top flight since a 2-1 defeat in January. Luton have lost both of their away league games against Wolves in the 21st century, both in 2006. Having won 4 and lost just one of their 6 previous visits to Molineux between 1976 and 1995. Wolves' 5 Premier League home games against promoted sides since the start of the season have produced just 4 goals. Each of the last 4 such games has finished 1-0, with Wolves winning 3 of those and losing the other one against Bournemouth, which was obviously, a while back. And obviously I did lose to Bournemouth as well during the week. As well. Wolves have lost just 2 of their last 15 Premier League games against promoted sides, winning 5, drawing 8. They lost 2-1 at Sheffield United earlier this season, but haven't lost to 2 different promoted teams in the same top flight campaign since 2011 to 12, which is Norwich and QPR. And then having won 3 of their first 5 Premier League games kicking off at 3 p.m. on a Saturday this season, drawing 1, losing 1. Wolves have won just 3 of their subsequent 10 such matches, which is drawing 2 and losing 5. So interesting there. The more we get into it, words from Rob Edwards and that type of thing going into it, a bit more about the opposition. Last time we played, Rob Edwards on this game has said the boys have trained well. The Brentford defeat was just frustrating in that it happened at the stage of the season, which is exactly pretty much what you said, Dad, wasn't it, in the last episode? But it happens, and we've got to get on with it. We couldn't allow it to feast or hurt for too long. We've lost the game, and of course it's serious. But at the same time, we can't allow it to hurt us anymore. Apologies if you can hear that. Flipping hell, it's an absolute madness here. Or to knock confidence and belief or cause disruption in the group. We won't allow that. We'll learn from it. We put it to bed early on Monday. There's been good focus from the group. We've said the players have got credit in the bank because they've been amazing for me this season, but we know standards dropped and we know that we need a reaction on Saturday at Wolves. A bit more about Wolves going into it. O'Neill stated that Wednesday night's defeat against 10-man Bournemouth was their worst performance of the season so far. They made it 6 in a row in the Premier League after Coventry City's remarkable late turnaround at Molineux in the Emirates FA Cup last month. Cunha was praised by O'Neill midweek despite defeat. The Brazilian is Wolves' top scorer this season with 17 Premier League goal contributions. Wolves' 5 Premier League home games against promoted sides, obviously, like I said, on that. And then team news going into it, as you can see in the title, KABORÉ is unlikely to play again for the rest of the season, suffering an ankle sprain. Now, again, when we first saw it, we were thinking, we've seen players go down for us, a lot this season, as we know, and usually they come back. And we did have that faith as much as he was limping. But again, it's unfortunate. It's annoying because of how well he's played, since that Villa game. And he's the only right wing back we've got in the club. So it is a frustrating one. It is a blow. And again, like I say, it's a lone player, isn't it? So you want to make the most of them, being in and around the team for the season. So it is a blow. But yes, obviously that's that on that. And then this is good to hear. Obviously, Osho and Lukonga were back, as we know, but they've got through uninjured in their return to action last weekend And then it says here Reece Burke has recovered, from an illness that saw him withdrawn at half time against Brentford. And then this was good to hear, and I was surprised about this. Now, Elijah has made progress in his recovery from a hamstring issue, as we know. A Saturday will obviously be too soon, but Rob Edwards did say out of the injured lot, he will be the one that is back the closer, one, which is interesting. I thought it maybe be, Chio, for example, but that's going to be interesting. Obviously it says it'll be too soon, so maybe it might be earlier than we thought. We were maybe thinking the Fulham game, last game of the season, but it might even be before that. West Ham potentially away, something like that. So that'll be interesting if that is the case. And then obviously no one else is set to return this weekend. Last time we met Wolves, obviously we have played them twice this season. One was in a friendly, obviously 0-0. We were, getting used to it. And I did like that friendly at the time because it was a good test. Wolves, they're, an established Premier League team, and it was a good test to see where we're at. So I did like that 0-0 in that one. And then obviously we played them in the league. And I remember at that time we were just trying to get a point, ideally 3, but we still didn't have any at the time. We got our first point. Very unlucky not to get 3, from memory in that game. Morris was very good in that game. Very unlucky. He had a shot in the first half. Very unlucky that didn't go in. Obviously, converted his penalty in that game. And yeah, I'd say we played really well in that game. Obviously, Neto did score for them. He won't be available for this game, which is benefit for us, I feel, because I've always rated him as a player. And like I say, he did score in the league. So, yeah, both times we've taken on Wolves this season, there have been draws. And then the officials for this game would be David Coote. 99 yellow cards and 3 red cards have been handed out by Coote across his 20 games this season. We last had a game ran by him when we lost narrowly to United in the Premier League course at Kenilworth Road. So, yeah, that's all of that on that. After saying that, Dad, how are you feeling going into this game?
Well, I'm feeling confident that we'll put in a performance. I fully expect us to do that. We very rarely, have two poor performances in a row as a club for the last few years. Obviously, we know the importance of it. We was talking about, we have to win our home games, etc. Now, for me, this possibly is a must-win game. Definitely can't. If we lose this, then I do think it's pretty much game over. We have too much to do, and then the pressure's really, really, really on us. So I do expect a performance. We've got that knowledge about them. Like I say, we have played them twice technically this season. In the first game in the friendly, they looked really, really good, and I could see then that we looked slightly out of our depth at that time. And this was before certain signings, etc. We had a couple of chances, I think, anyway, but they just controlled that game easily. Obviously, we've learned since then, and when we played them, which was quite early on at Kenilworth Road, for me, like that first half performance against them was similar to the Brighton performance, except we didn't score. It wasn't as good, but it was very, very similar. We dominated the ball, and we looked good. And also regarding that, I've looked at the lineup for that game. There's a few players that we've signed. We didn't have Barkley then. We didn't have Townsend then. Menji was on the bench. Other players that stepped up. That's a long time ago when you think about it as well. So I think we've got enough at the moment just to get a result there. So yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. No, I agree. Again, like I say, they've got quite a lot of key players out. Obviously, I know we do as well, but I feel like Neto, for example, like I said, he did score in the last game against us, and he's just that player, isn't he? That you fear whoever you're up against, whatever team it is, the amount of teams like the teams that you would say like higher up teams in the Premier League's been linked with a lot of them, over the years as well. So tells you a lot about him. But yeah, as for me, I'm like you, Dad. We, like you said on the last one, we tend to respond well, and I think we will. And like I say, the games we have played against Wolves, even though they were dominant, like saying that in that friendly game, and we were still adapting, we still scored goals. All right, they were offside, but we still had our moments then as well. The league, like I say, I thought we were very unlucky not to win that game. So I think it's a good opportunity. Also, with the fact Wolves, I mean, there could be a late potential push for Europe, but I think it is a bit of an ask. When you look at the recent results they've had, maybe if they, had better results going into it, then yeah. But I think the outsider really at this moment in time for a Europe space that not a lot of people would expect is Bournemouth. The way they're going. So I think there's that as well to take into account as well. And ever since that Coventry game in the FA Cup, for me, they've just not been great. And it's interesting that O'Neill says it was their worst performance of the season. Don't get me wrong, I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched the highlights and that, and I thought they were quite harshly done, by VAR. And I know some people over exaggerate and say that, like Forest, but generally, like I thought the first goal was a bit, stupid. Like the guy was continued. I think it's Semenyo or whatever his name is. And then the offside, I don't know. I think that was a bit harsh as well. Even I remember watching earlier on in the season when they took on Man United, first game of the season, shall I say, and that I don't know how that weren't a foul by Onana, but they have had a lot of times they've been screwed over. Like I say, a lot of people over exaggerate when they say it, but they have a lot when I've watched them. So maybe if them decisions weren't like that, it'd be a bit higher. But again, like I say, they're mid-table. I think it's a good opportunity, to try and get something out of the game. Obviously, Lokonga being back is massive. Obviously, he was back last week, but I think, because of the way we will respond, what I believe, I think, he'll be, stand out a lot more, in this game, and we'll see why we were missing him, type of thing. So yeah, I'm confident that we'll respond well when it comes to that. But yeah, let's go through some comments. Big up to Paul in the chat, says good evening, lads. Big up to yourself. Big up to Stephen, says big up. Big up to yourself. Big up to Chris as well. Yeah, it could very well be. Could very well be. I mean, I have seen a lot of predictions for this game, and a lot of them are hard to separate, really. And if I have seen people say a team to win, it is by a goal. I haven't seen any, 2-goal deficit wins or anything like that. So I do agree with that. Yep, no, he is. But like I say, he is out, so that is benefit. Unless their manager's playing what Rob Edwards done last week, and he might be in, but he wasn't there the other day. He wasn't there the previous game, so and it looks like he won't be. But you never know. You never know nowadays, do you? I expect response from Luton after that blow versus Brentford. Expect Luton to be given. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's just how we are usually. We tend to bounce back. So, like I say, yeah, exactly, like I said as well. Yeah, obviously, briefly spoke about this the other day. But yeah, it's just absolutely bizarre, isn't it, Dad? Like you
Yeah,
said.
well, it was fourth official or whatever, the overseer. So he was like the last in the line. He wasn't the manager of every person. The referee's the main guy on the pitch. He didn't give any of the penalties. Yeah, and then it falls to possibly the people who are looking at VAR initially. They didn't give it, and then I guess then maybe then it goes to Stuart Atwell, but you don't know exactly what his role is. Maybe I don't know. It's just clutching at straws at the end of the day. The best result for us would have been a draw, or even as I've said, other people it said maybe Forest even beating Everton because then we play them. But so and they've gone on since and they've basically secured themselves. So puts even more pressure on them. I do feel like if you moan a bit too much, regardless of decisions, that's what VAR is. It does happen. I've seen it for every team. Wolves have, there will always be one team that gets certain decision. That's the nature of how it is, because it's not a foolproof, thing. You can't. It's not like within tennis, all they've got is like the Hawkeye thing, and that's it. It'll show you that's it. But it's gone, and that's what it was kind of initially brought in for, wasn't it? Like offsides, and they've got goal line technology, but now they're like scrutinising everything and then making it up, changing the laws. They need to just have something, set it, and that's it. That's it from now on. If it's a blatant handball, yeah, it's reaching his arm out, it's a penalty. Other than that, no, that's it. Because the thing is, fans jump on it as well. That's what makes me laugh. Like half the time they're like, "Oh, that's a," but after time they're like, "Yeah, but it hit his hand just a little bit." So, things like that. So that's the problem. It just leaves you open for every single thing. I've seen tackles. I've seen even instant. I watched a Man City game last night. Foden slipped. They gave a free kick.
Oh, that was a joke.
No one overruled it.
I don't even. Yeah, that's what annoyed me about that. They didn't even go to VAR. And just like not that they need to proper go there, but the people in VAR just say, "Listen, that's not a foul." Say to the referee, "That's not a foul." You know what I mean?
That as well. They don't seem to have any balls after them. And the thing is, that Pedro was Brighton's best player, even though he's ex-Watford, and that was a penalty as well. That was definitely a penalty. So that's where it is better in the other leagues. I watched Leeds the other day. Their winning goal, I think, or their equalising goal was offside, clearly. But you know where you stand, and then it does even itself out. But I feel with VAR, it doesn't even itself out because you can't. Because what they're going to do, like talk to each other, because you're looking outside of the box kind of thing, aren't you? You're watching replays and you're watching this, that, and the other, and it just affects then the moment. That's what's lost. The moment counts for a lot, and that's what's been taken away, and that's what's causing the problem because it's slow mo, and they're going, well, then referees are losing their natural ability for going, that's definitely a penalty. I don't care what you say, well, that's definitely handball, or this, that, and the other, and that's the problem. Like it's getting to the point a little bit where the referee might as well not even be on the pitch. But yeah, it's just clutching at straws. It's going over the top. Yeah, he is a Luton fan, but so what? Right? A lot of these guys in there are fans of different clubs and this, that, and the other one. It's just, we warned. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I totally agree.
Think about tomorrow. He's from Nottingham apparently, and he supports Nottingham Forest. Nottingham, Notts County, and then is he going to give everything to Luton because they're rivals?
Mm-hmm.
If they said anything about that immediately after, because that's basically the same thing, isn't it? If a Luton fan was refereeing or someone refereeing a Watford game, do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is.
And I'm sure as well, if they weren't in danger of getting relegated, they wouldn't have put out that statement.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no.
Simple as that. They would have just said something, and then it's filtered. The problem is, it's filtered down to the manager. It's filtered down to the player, Nico Williams, and that saying blatant stuff. You can't say it because it's just ruining the game. Like obviously referees and that, it's been going for years. People that have problems before. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah, it's just beggy. It's beggy as well.
And that's it. Yeah, we talked about it before. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Big up to Narsha in the chat. Big up to yourself, mate. Says, how you doing, Tyler? I'm good, thanks, mate. Hope you're well. You finished uni for the year. Nice one, mate. Nice one. But yeah, big game for Arsenal, as we know. Jeez, big game. North London derby. Looking forward to watching that, to be fair. I'm looking forward to the games on Sunday. To be fair,
I
you got the
I
go
think
on.
if Arsenal beat Tottenham, I think it's theirs to lose. The title's theirs to lose from then on.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Because
agree with
Tottenham
that.
also play Liverpool and Man City, and I can't see Tottenham losing all three of them games.
No, I
So
don't think so.
if Arsenal can beat them and they got them first up, which is good, I think the league's there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree because that is a statement win. You know, we did think that last year when they beat Tottenham away, but I think this year is a bit different because they do have that slight gap, don't they, on City, and obviously City have still got to go Tottenham away themselves. So that's going to be interesting. I do think if there's one game City do drop points, it probably is that game. Not saying they lose it, but I can see them drawing. They do struggle at Tottenham over the years. I know they beat them in the FA Cup, but even then 1-0, and it was a bit controversial, wasn't it? So, in the league, they do struggle since Tottenham have, done that stadium up. So, yeah, there we go with that. So, yeah, exactly. And it goes back to, like, for example, when we played, who was it, Dad, where he scored that goal? Forest. And we were like, he was like, does it count? I was doing the same the game after or whatever it was. So it is like that. But another thing, just quickly, I'd like to say on it, and we said it off air. I said it to you, Dad, off air. And Neville was spot on about it the other day in the derby. He said, the people that are, like, for example, the penalty appeal that Everton had, obviously is offside in the end. But, stuff like that, the fans are booing, because they think they're saying no to the penalty, but he's offside. You know what I mean? Stuff like that, they need to, on the screens, they need to show people in the stadiums, because then you get an idea and they wouldn't be booing as much like that. Obviously, I get it's a derby, they're up for it and that, but just games in general as well. I feel they've got to do that as well in a lot of games, because a lot of people go out the ground and for example, think they're robbed, and it's like you don't actually know what's happened until you look back at it and you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Majority of the time. So for me, the grounds that have a screen as well, they've definitely got to do that for me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, exactly, and we all know this is the time City are usually on it. And you're seeing that as well, aren't you? So like Brighton they're not terrible side. I don't think they've been as great since they got knocked out of Europe, but it's too easy for City. It's too comfortable, really. Obviously, I know the second goal was, it shouldn't have been a free kick, but just throughout the game, they were quite dominant. Brighton had their spells every now and then, but overall, it's the City domination. So, yeah, that is that on that. But yeah, moving on to the lineup into this game. So, as for me, we're away from home, so I am going to go with a 4-3-3 formation in this game. So for me, I'm going to go Kaminsky in goal, obviously. Shout out to him. Most saves in the Premier League, as we know. Now, the back four, I am going to go, especially another reason I'm going to go with a back four is because obviously KABORÉ's out. So you don't quite have that luxury there. So I'm going to go Doughty on the left, Mengi and Burke as the centre backs, and then I'm going to go Fred on the right. Again, who are you really going to go with? Maybe put Townsend there, but again, not for me. Fred's been playing there, so when he has come on and stuff. So I'm gonna go with Fred. The three in the middle: Barkley, Lokonga, and I'm gonna go with Clark. Again, you could maybe go Berry ahead of Clark. I think other than that, you don't really change it unless you go with two in midfield, and then three up front: Chong on the left side, Townsend again. Could change him up and maybe go someone else, but again I'm going to go with him. Also due to obviously KABORÉ being out, maybe if he wasn't, I'd maybe go. It might be a bit bold to some people, but I'd maybe go Fred higher up and then KABORÉ on the right wing back, of course, and then obviously Morris up front. So yeah, that is my lineup. So Kaminsky in goal, back four, of Doughty, Mengi, Burke, Fred. Midfielder Barkley, Ruddock. Not Ruddock. Lokonga and Clark, and then the three up front: Chong on the left, Townsend on the right, and Morris up front. So that is my lineup. There we go with that. So again, Osho's another shout, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to go back four personally in this game. So yeah, that's my lineup going into it. Your lineup, Dad. There you go.
Nice working. So obviously Kaminsky. I'm going with Osho, Menji, and Burt. I'm going with the three at the back that we've pretty much played a lot of the season. So I'm gonna have Doughty on the left, Barkley, the Conga, Holding, and that's good to see. I'm gonna try Hashioka on the right. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, in his main position.
Yeah, and then Chong, and then Townsend as well. You know, he needs a good performance in this game.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
He, you know, really for me, he has to start because you know we haven't got. He could help Hashioka out as well. I feel so, and then Morris up front, and then I don't think that. You know, he said that Elijah's close and stuff like that. And I don't think he'll do it twice in a row where he's on the bench.
No, surely not.
It sounds like he's possibly will be back for the Everton game. I reckon, at least on the bench. I reckon.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, it's a shame I haven't really spoke about KABORÉ. He's probably going to go back to Man City now. I would have thought. He's out for the rest of the season, but Rob Edwards has already come out and said that he'd work with him again. So potentially, depending what happens to Man City, like we've discussed before, he's not getting in that first team. We've seen, you know, he has improved, but there's no way. Obviously, if he feels he's good enough for the Premier League and we do get relegated, then maybe like, but I can't see anyone really starting him because they would have seen the same thing. But I feel like because he knows the players and we've worked with him already and we'll give him that opportunity and the season, like we said before, in the Championship, I think would benefit him. I could see us getting hold of him, definitely. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, best of luck to him. Do you know what I mean? Like in the last 5-6 games, you know, since we criticised him. You know, I'm not saying that he's obviously, you know, but it's just coincidence. But from then he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Consistent. That's what he's been. He's been consistent. He wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Even in games, you know, he'd put a poor tackle in, but he put a good cross in, or he, you know, the other way around and things like that, or he constantly get yellow cards or he'd panic and that. You know, I think although he played for Man City, you can see that it took him longer to get up to that Premier League, you know, playing speed and things like that, reading the game. That's what I think. I think he's got the ability because you can see it. So yeah. You know, that's how we got Lokonga back. We've got option. We'll have options on the bench now because Clark will be on the bench, probably. Who else? You never know. You know, you've got Woodrow, Berry still. I know it's, you know, but they're still there. You know, and they can have an impact.
It's more than what we have.
Yeah, exactly. And you never know. Like maybe someone will be on the bench. You know, because there wasn't that list this time of the players that were definitely out and stuff. You know, like Potts. Or...
Yeah, it wasn't clear like it has been. Yeah. Well, I mean, saying that, Jackie is in the chat. She reckons Elijah might be on the bench. Could you imagine that?
It could be slightly behind. I mean, go back to when we played Huddersfield in the playoffs, and Elijah was on the bench then, but he was clearly injured. But it was like get in a position and just, you know, desperation, isn't it? I don't think we're quite at that stage, but you know, if it could be, if he's that close, potentially he could be on the bench and you just bring him on for the last 5 minutes. I don't know. It depends, doesn't it? What the score is and things like that. If we're cruising, then, well, you won't even bother. I don't know. Maybe. It would be good to see, obviously.
Yeah, it would be class.
You know, we both, you know, we all thought that last week, didn't we? And you wouldn't want him to come on and then get injured. I think he's a strong lad. He don't generally get injured, to be fair, either, does he?
No.
But yeah, that would be a bonus.
Yeah,
think
no,
G a lot of the players up as well.
yeah, especially him and Morris. You could say they're having that little competition, couldn't you, for top scorer? Obviously, they're level. Like I say, if one of them gets it,
Yeah, I'd love to see them
be a
both.
couple of figures.
Yeah,
for
both.
the Premier League.
Yeah, both to get 10 goals. I think if they do, that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
Decent, you know, for your first season in the Premier League to get 10 each. You know, that's pretty good. That's excellent, in fact. You know.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, quickly going on that again. Yeah, no, I agree. Especially that, what was it, the third goal? God, what were they doing? Like, everyone was gassing up the keeper.
You
Oh,
say
he's
that ginger
confident.
lad, the ginger art, what's it, Barco?
Yeah, something like he was pretty good. Yeah,
I swear Luton signed him on one of my FIFA games. But anyway, decent, man.
yeah, he looked all right. Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah,
Obviously, he was involved in that goal that they scored, but I'm not really. He's doing what he's told to do by the manager, isn't it? I'm not really going to say anything. But other than that, I thought, you know what? He looked pretty decent. You know?
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like it's just silly. Everyone was gassing up keeper. Oh, he's confident. Also, literally on the phone.
He's not too bad. He is good with his feet and that, but you just don't. There's certain.
You don't do that though. It's like when Southampton played Liverpool in the FA Cup. You don't do that. You don't go to them grounds and do that.
I mean, you don't have to play direct, but you can just play it a little bit longer.
Yeah,
that's it. You know, because you're just inviting them onto you, and
exactly.
You're gonna get punished.
Like, did you see the amount of City players that were pressing the keeper on that goal? It's nuts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. No, well, I'll say he's still not available. You never know with last week, but no, I don't think he is. And I'd love to put him in. I'd love to put him in. You know, if he was on that, you know, that right side, because I don't think Townsend's been overly great the last couple of weeks, but I don't think he will be in. You know, like Rob Edwards said, the closest one will be Elijah as it stands out of them. You know, the injury list at the moment. So, yeah, that's that. Big up to yourself, mate. Hi, how are we? Yeah, we're all right. Thanks, mate. What about yourself? You know, it's been a bit of a madness at Liverpool recently, but it's one of them. It's one of them. Guess you're not out of it until it's over, as they say, but it's looking like a bit of a difficult task. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. But yeah, moving on to score predictions for this game, Dad. How do you see it going? Our second last away game of the season.
I mean, I'm trying to be realistic, but then I've got a feeling that this is going to be our best away performance of the season. Trying to think what was so far. Everton, maybe. But, you know, when we beat them in the league. I'm not sure. You know, Newcastle was all right, to be fair. So yeah, I think that we've got certain players back. We've got the full defence now. You know, generally they've played well all season. You know, we have missed them three at the back, like in that position. Osho on the left, Burke on the right, because they both bomb forward when they're fit and confident. And you've got Menji will be, you know, he's probably going to be a rock tomorrow as well. And Kaminsky probably, you know, how he is, he'll be confident with them three in front of him. Then that's why I'm playing that formation as well. You know, doubting his natural position. Put Hashioka there on the right. Why not? Who else are we going to put there? Like Fred maybe, but for me, Hashioka's shown a lot. You know, he's good at passing the ball forward as well. And if Townsend's in front of him, that's going to well pass. And then Chong's done nothing wrong really recent in quite a few games actually consistently. He's been really good. And then obviously Morris up front. And then if we need to tidy up shot or at the back and stuff like that later on, we've got options on the bench. It's going to be vital that Lokonga's back. So that they've struggled a little bit recently. I still think it'd be difficult, but I've got a feeling we're going to edge it and get the win. So I'm going to go So what? I'm going to go 3-1 Luton.
Jeez. I like that. I like that confidence. That's good. As for my score prediction, how do I see it going? So it's a game, especially with how Wolves have been since Coventry, where I look at and think, we could get something out of it. Like I said earlier, you look at the other games, played them twice this season, drew both of them, very unlucky not to win the home game. Will be a bit different, because it is away, but I'm going to back us to get another draw in this game and a point that could be vital come the end of the season. So I'm going to go over 1-1 draw, exactly what it was in the previous game at Kenilworth Road. So yeah, that's my prediction for that. Dad, your 3 goal scorers, who are they?
Well, I'm going to go Morris, definitely. Chong and Mengi.
Nice. My goal scorer, I'm going Morris. I reckon he'll do it. I know I said it last week. He didn't, but I think he will do it at some point, and he will have that gap over Elijah, and then hopefully Elijah's back soon, like we say, and then they can battle it out towards the end of the season. That'll be nice, obviously in a friendly way. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, everyone else's score predictions do get them in as well if you haven't already, and your goal scorers. Chris has gone 1-0 Woodrow winner. Could you imagine? Do you imagine? Do you know what? I could actually see that though. I could see it being like everyone thinks it'll be a tight game. Someone wins, it'll be by 1 goal mainly. So I could see it. Could be one of them where it's 0-0. We're looking at it going, oh. Not like the Palace game in certain aspects.
Yeah.
Where we're looking at it and it's like, oh, come on. And then Woodrow pops up. Could you imagine? Oh, it'd be sick. But yeah, Paul's gone 2-1 to us. Yeah, nice. That'd be a good away win. So a lot of people are saying either two. The main ones I'm seeing is 1-1 or 2-1, either way. And then again, Jackie's gone with 2-1 as well. And Paul's goal scorers, he's gone with Barkley and Morris. Barkley again. I want to say it, but the next time I say it, I want to say it so it's that banger goal. That's what I want to see. Thinking about it, who we got? We got West Ham away. We got Everton. I'll tell you what, if done it against Everton, that would be that'd be pretty crazy, wouldn't it? Thinking about it, it's former club. West Ham away, you never know. Fulham to keep us up. Could you imagine? Oh my god, that'd be crazy. So he could maybe do it in 1M, but yeah. Big up to Luca as well. He says hi. You okay? Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Hope you're well. So yeah, that is that on that. Dad, any final things you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
Just we're gonna say path exit that we might go down. Do you know what I mean? You got to have it there, but we're still living with a chance, and until that chance is gone, then that's it, isn't it? But I do think we'll see a good performance tomorrow, and I just can't see us playing like we did against Brentford. I just can't see it.
No, if we do, yeah, it'll be a serious question.
I just think, we're going to put it on and we're going to do it, and that'll be a massive boost because obviously Forest have got Man City. They can't see Man City slipping up against them. No. So, like you say, even if we get a point, then we'll be level with them.
So I mean, yeah.
But again, we don't know how their appeal's going to go and that. So a win really would give us a lot of confidence. Then we've got Everton at home, and we could probably, if we beat Wolves and drew with Everton, I'll be all right with that.
Yeah.
And then see what happens. If Elijah's back, then we've got West Ham away. They probably have nothing to play for. They've been in and out all season. Who knows? Even if it comes to the last game of the season, then bring it on. I think we'll win it. We'll beat Fulham if we have to beat them. So, but yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Yeah. Well, Dad, I think you're the first person I've heard to have 2-goal deficit win. So that'd be nice. That'd be very nice if that happens. And then Chris says that was reasoning behind my prediction. I think it might be tight. Yeah, I'd see what you mean. Obviously, Palace are 1-0 up. Then we got our late goal and we were thinking we were going to lose, but we could see it 0-0. We're going to get a dull draw. And then Woodrow pops up. Imagine. That'd be sick. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Again, it was a game we would have approached, anyway, and tried to win it for sure. But now I think, yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously they take on Brentford this week, and now you sort of look at that game, they're both all right. So it's quite hard to separate them.
It's about that Everton game, like, we'll still play with a certain intensity. It'll be our next home game, and we'll be looking to improve after the last performance.
Under the lights as well.
Yeah, I don't think Everton will play at the same, tempo and that, because they're basically safe. They don't need to, and it won't be in them. Obviously, they'll try and compete, I would have thought, but we've beat them twice already. But why can't we beat them at home when we really need to?
Yeah.
So exactly. I feel that performance will be very good as well. But it'd be even better if we play well tomorrow, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like I say, Dad, might have Elijah back for that, if not tomorrow. Oh, could you imagine that? Imagine that. So, yeah, literally, yeah. I'm like you, Dad. I've said it for a while. I'm pretty confident in that game. Obviously, not previewing it, but just looking ahead a little bit. I think like I've said many a times, they'll be mid-table, nothing to play for. Good opportunity for me. And like you say, if we have to win, I feel we will. Even if it's like a 1-0, I can just see us doing it. So, yeah, and we have said for a while, we believe it will come down to the last game and the way things are going. It does look like that. So, yeah, that is that when it comes to that. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. A few new subscribers the other day as well. So do appreciate that. Do subscribe to the extra channel as well. Obviously, link to that is in the description. And follow me across all my socials. And by the way, on TikTok, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Well, it's not even subscribers on there, is it? Followers. So, yeah, big up for that. Had it just over a year now. So, yeah, big up. Make sure you are following that if you're not already. And then, yeah, obviously, all the other socials are there as well. Instagram and all of that. And, yeah, as for content, like I say, a lot coming out after this. Got Premier League predictions coming out on a community post. Got Dave from Talking Wolves. He's done a preview kindly, his thoughts going into it. So do check that out. I'll release that as soon as after this. And yeah, tomorrow we'll be back again with a vlog from home. And hopefully we get a positive result, going into that game. And then yeah, we'll do a reaction on Monday. Probably just do it. Yeah, we'll do it on Monday, like we have been. And then yeah, obviously we got that game against Everton on literally that Friday, isn't it? So we'll do that preview on a Thursday, and hopefully we'll have an Everton fan on for that as well. So should be interesting. And then yeah, big stuff planned as well. I'm not going to give it away yet, but big stuff planned for West Ham as well. So yeah, hopefully all that will roll through, and that'll be good content on the channel as well. So yeah, big up to everyone. Like I say, smash a like, subscribe, all of that. Follow me across all my socials, and until tomorrow, we'll see you back again with a vlog from home. Till then, take care and peace.